Hello, I'm Dr. Gareth Moore and I'm a puzzle and brain training author. But in this video, I won't be writing puzzles, I'm going to be solving this, hopefully, the Exit the Game Advent Calendar, but not all of it, just day 17, the Silent Storm. So we'll start today as usual by having a look at the story. Hopefully we won't need the hints and solutions. Now, it's quite a long one today, isn't it? Making up for how short it was yesterday, clearly. Yesterday I commented that it was unusually brief, so obviously the story writers have gone back in time, changed the story and made sure it was long enough today. But actually today is a key one. As I can see, we have arrived in Santa's study. Finally, he's sitting face flushed at his desk, rummaging through a huge pile of documents. "I'm so glad you're here," he calls out, and after this brief greeting he gets straight to the point. "I'm desperately confused by the operating instructions from I.M. Burns." Who or what is I.M. Burns, boss? You ask, confused. "Well, it's the security company that sold us the anti-detection system way back when," explained Santa irritably. "These operating instructions are a joke, full of riddles. I think they did it deliberately. Lock-in mechanism? What a silly idea." Now, it's worth pointing out you're currently stuck inside Santa's compound because of the security system. Something else is more important to you than the operating instructions. "Boss," you ask urgently, "what's the deal with this giant you mentioned earlier?" Because there's a giant outside. "Oh yes, the giant," says Santa Claus. "In the beginning it wasn't a giant, it was a normal person walking, which is bad enough, so I pushed the emergency button." And he snorts derisively. "Nice security system. After I pressed the button, the guy became huge. Huge! And what's more, it seems I also triggered this terrible earthquake and snowstorm, and now it's so awfully quiet." Now you see what I think's happened is that the security system has shrunk Santa's workshop and you down to a tiny little point, and that's why the guy has suddenly got big, and it's probably a very effective security system. Also, I might be very wrong. Anyway, on the back it says, "You look closely at your boss. Although he seems tense, he does still seem sane, so as crazy as it sounds, perhaps he's telling the truth." And he says, "I checked the operating instructions and found there is a secret command centre somewhere we must find. You'll have to do that. In the meantime, he'll deal with the monster outside, try to lure it away. And you ask for help and he just tells you to follow the clues." Anyway, he then goes into the documents, murmuring giants, the best way to deal with giants. So you leave him alone. A small pale yellow pad, though, falls out from the pile of papers on the desk. I mean, you have to smile. Santa Claus orders these practical sticky notes with Christmas magic from the future. I guess this is set in the past. Anyway, the boss obviously likes the stationery and he loves his little sticky notes. He calls them post-its, or something like that. He likes to write all sorts of messages on them and attaches them in such a way that he can keep an eye on them. Now open door 17, where you'll find 3 riddle cards and a block of post-it notes. Now that's not something I remember seeing in an Exit game before. But talking of which, here's the calendar, and door 17 we identified yesterday as being by here. So let's open it and see what's going on. Ooh. There's the post-its and 3 riddle cards, which also look like post-its. There's a deck of... Are these actual post-its? There's quite a lot of them. And look, there's some post-its. And there's Santa, the big man himself. Oh, he doesn't look very happy. What's on these cards? Lists of tasks, by the look of it. Phone Auntie Erna at 1 PM on Thursday. Always make pancakes with 3 eggs. Never eat more than 5 gingerbread houses. Very sensible advice. Order Harry Potter book 5. Is that for Santa or for someone he's delivering it to? Gained 5 kilograms on a cookie diet. Ah, yes, that does have its problems. Saturday will be 3 degrees. Don't forget Woolly Hat. In emergencies, implement the 2-phase alarm protocol. Don't tell good jokes more than 3 times. Mike needs 5 more ballpoint pens. Punch 2 more holes in the brown belt. Water house plants once per week. Eggnog ice cream has 400 calories. I mean, it depends how much you have, doesn't it? Take Ben's broom back to the first floor. Meeting room 1 needs donuts every morning. Great plan. And sprinkle eco-safe glitter, yes, onto every second coat. Well, there we go. And let's have a look and see what's in the room. But I mean, obviously, I say obviously, it's perhaps not obvious at all. There's a bold letter and a bold number in each of these things. So we have 3H, E2, G3, 5B, 2B, H1, E4, B1, 1D, G2. Actually, I may as well read them all. E1, 3E, 5G, H5, 5D. So nothing's higher than H or 5. And actually, there are no C's or F's. I think someone's playing battleships and they're probably going to be sinking or firing into squares where we will be making the shapes of digits, that's my guess. And the digits are probably going to create the 3 digits we need, as always, to work out where our next room is, because they're not otherwise marked. Right, let's have a look inside Santa's office, though, see what's going on. I mean, he seems to have exactly the same size room as all the other people. In fact, all the rooms in this calendar are oddly the same size. It's almost as if there's some other reason for that. Anyway, if we have a look inside, Look, there's Santa. He doesn't seem particularly happy, but then I mean, perhaps he wouldn't be, would he? Yep, lots of paper, some post-its, a very old phone, some scraps of paper on the floor, a blank roof. You really need to decorate up there. A globe, and then on his left wall, a post-it. Blackberry tea with Rudolph every day at 3 p.m. Very civilised. And that's 3B. So let's write down 3B on a post-it so that I don't forget before we go any further. 3B. There we go. Right, and now I remember I've seen post-its before on this calendar, I think, with numbers and letters on too, on the roof of it here. So here we go. Yes, and they have a similar format, don't they? 2A. Okay, so $2 for Alex's birthday collection. 4B, 4th May, party at Benno's house. 3 days before Christmas, Polish dance floor. No, polished dance floor. That's not the same thing at all. Keep electricity at level 5, all right. And then up over here, list 6 cinnamon sticks, 1 bar of chocolate, 3 gingerbread. And a lot of that looks bold to me, but I think that the 1 and the G are more bold than the rest. Oh, I missed this one over the side here. It's off the edge of my camera, that's why. House key, check 4 locks. So I think we're playing battleships. Sort of. Not really battleships at all. We're just shading in a grid. I think of that as battleships because I played battleships on a grid a lot as a kid. But that's nothing specific to battleships, it's just a grid. So what are we using the post-its for? Are we sticking them on here to fill out the grid? Perhaps we are. Right, well, I do actually have a high-up mounted camera, but I can't be bothered to set it up today. So I'm just raised up my normal desk camera. So we've got 3B, which is inside Santa's office. So these are in the right places. This is 1 down, G across. This is 2 down, A across. So 3 down, B across must be by here. This post-it is less sticky than... Well, it's not sticky at all, let's be honest. That post-it is not sticky. Let's get rid of that one. 3B. Right, let's try this one. So let's assume these are all in the right places. So in the room we have E1. So this is G1. This would be E1 here. Right. By the way, I don't know if you can tell, but I have got this giant box right in front of me. Makes it quite impractical. There we go. And that is clearly 1, 3, 5. And now I know what the post-its on the lid are for. They're for that. I may as well leave the camera this high up for now. So we are down here on day 17 and we have discovered that our code, our post-it code, is 135. So let's dial that into the code of 135, and I mean that has to be correct, doesn't it? So we are going, up left, up left, up left. Right, they're flying around the board, and that is a moon, a circle, and a Y, and that is correct. So we have found where door 18 is. So let's write 18 on here. We are ready for tomorrow's calendar. Well, there we go. I hope you enjoyed that. Very inventive as always. I didn't see it coming that they were going to be putting extra post-its on the lid. I mean, you've hardly been able to see the lid at all really on these videos, I know, but if you've got the calendar, I certainly didn't anticipate I was going to be sticking extra post-its on there, which I guess perhaps I could have done, given there were like pictures of post-its on there. I just thought that was whimsy. Anyway, a lot of fun as always. Not too hard to solve today, but I mean, when I first saw those letters and numbers, I have to say I was like, what is going on here? And really the fact that the only thing I could think of was to use them as coordinates was the reason I was able to make progress on that puzzle. So if you solved it yourself, I'd love to know how you got on. If you're watching along, was it clear to you what was going on? I don't know. If you'd like to leave a comment down below, I would love to read them. Also, if you wouldn't mind liking the video, if you enjoyed it, that'd be great. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, that'd be fabulous too, if you wouldn't mind doing that. Otherwise, at the end of this video, there'll be some links here to another couple of Advent calendars I'm solving this Advent, as well as some other things I've solved in the past, including quite a few escape room boxes that I've solved with my colleague Laura, including quite a few exit the game boxes. So if any of that interests you, do feel free to click around on the links at the end. But otherwise, pretty much all that remains is until I see you in a future video. Take care and goodbye.